Hi, it's Mary Kay again from Backbone Valley Nursery in beautiful Marble Falls, Texas. Today we're going to talk about questions that I get every day of the year, especially this time of year. It's called, what's wrong with my tree? And many times it could be something it's failing to grow. Why doesn't it grow? What are the leaf spots on my tree? Why is it turning yellow? Why does one branch die off? You know, what is going on with my tree? Well, it's not often just cut and dried. It could be that you do have a fungal organism. You could have insects such as borers. You could have insects on the leaves like lace bugs on bur oaks. Most of the time we can trace it back to a cause that is a little less obvious. It might be something that is stressing the tree. And one of the most common causes of stress in trees is either being planted too deeply or having mulch applied to the trunk. So we're going to talk today about how to check for these things and why they would cause problems for your tree, and why it would weaken your tree. When you go out to look at a tree, and I tell everybody who has problems with a tree, even if we can diagnose it as a leaf spot, fungus, or whatever, please go check the depth of your soil that your tree is planted in. This involves going to the base of the tree, looking for the root flare, because roots as they go into the ground should flare out. They should not go straight in like a telephone pole. If they do, you need to go to the base of the tree, pull back the soil until you see large roots growing out of it. And that is your original soil line on the tree, and you'll want to remove the soil or mulch and pull it back 6 inches away at least, to give the bark there some room where it can have some gas exchange. It's very important. So if we look at this live oak tree, we can see here that we do have the root flare right here. And I don't really need to go very far before I can see that this is going to start into a root. This is going to start into a root. You can even feel them under there. You want to make sure that all of the root flare is exposed. So sometimes when people add sod to their lawns and they put in a lot of soil, you don't realize what a big difference an inch or two of that sandy loam, or even the amount of soil on the bottom of the sod, can make if you sod right up to the tree, which I don't recommend doing, by the way. We like to maintain what are called mow rings around the tree, which means a weed-free zone that we don't have to take our weed eater up against. That is another reason why trees could fail to thrive or be weakened. If people have to weed it up against a tree, you can damage the vascular system, which is just underneath that outer bark layer. And if you do that, it will eventually be a slow death for a tree. Now, planting too deeply or having mulch piled up on the trunk isn't often a quick death. It is almost always a slow death. So you need to recognize that the symptoms that you see might have an underlying factor or stressor that you can easily remediate by checking where the original soil line of the tree is. We see people who apply mulch that looks like a volcano coming up. It gets very, very tall in the center. And that is doing a big disservice to your tree as well, because the tree needs to have gas exchange, air exchange. And that mulch up on that trunk can also provide a moist area for insects and disease to be harbored. It can also, if it starts to rot, it can interfere with that phloem, which is part of the vascular system directly under the bark that moves carbohydrates up and down. So you want to be sure you don't have mulch up on there. Pull it 3 to 6 inches away from the bark, from the trunk, and make sure your tree's flare roots are exposed. Once you've taken those precautions, then we can get to the point where we treat maybe the secondary problems that this has caused. So I hope you've learned something today. If nothing else, just go take a look at your trees. If you have a little rake, I want to show you my neat little rake here. After you've put down your mulch, and this goes for shrubs too, because I see this happen with shrubs. Mulch too deep, you'll have a branch die off here, a branch die off there. Failure to thrive, that's a big one. Go back in with this little tiny rake and pull the mulch back from the trunks, 3 to 6 inches away from the trunk. You can do it very easily with this little shrub rake. That's what they're made for. So I hope this helps you with your trees, and please give us a call. Bring in samples in plastic bags, please, of any kind of tree problems, and we'll be glad to try and help you out and walk you through the steps to determine what's going on. Thanks for watching.